What's going on, everybody? This is Sunaak here. Welcome me back to another episode of my Majora's Mask 3D Let's Play. And as you saw me chug, I got a Chateau Romani in order to have infinite magic for this dungeon because, oh boy, are we going to need it. But in the last episode, we got here to Stone Tower in the entrance, and this episode, we're going to go ahead and start taking on said Stone Tower. So, just like what we did in the last episode, you're going to need the Elegy of Emptiness to go ahead and create the pathway to the dungeon, so... not too bad. It's just get ready to hear the song again multiple times, because it's going to be needed inside the dungeon. And thank God that this game doesn't make you listen to the full repeat of it multiple times, so... there's that bonus. But yeah, I'm looking forward to this one because this is honestly, I think, one of my favorite dungeons. You know, one of those final dungeons that require you to just put everything that you've accumulated throughout your entire journey and just kind of put them all in one place and everything too. So it's kind of interesting. It's going to be a little bit of a long one, not going to lie, in terms of just how to get through it and make sure you're getting everything 100%. I believe we haven't even tried out the Elegy of Emptiness, but this is what the Deku form looks like too, so kind of interesting. How the other two have like the personalities and everything, but the Deku is the only one that hasn't been elaborated on, other than just ourselves, you know. But it is what it is. Maybe there is some lore that I've never really seen or read. But anyway, this is Stone Tower Temple. So right off the bat, we have many places to go, and a lot of these dragonflies laying around, but thankfully got the bow and arrow from the first dungeon, so it shouldn't be too hard. Just trying to get rid of this thing, honestly, because, yeah, they can be kind of annoying when you're trying to just explore and do things. This one, I will say, is going to get very weird in terms of just the collections, period. Because of the fact that, you know, there's so many different places to go, and again, I'm not gonna spoil right away, but this dungeon's gonna get weird. It does get very weird. Gonna go ahead and pull out the blast mask here, and we should be good. Just so that way we don't have to waste bombs or whatever. I mean, not that it's a waste or anything. This one we just need to clear out the box area. Well, I think I just did it just to see if there was anything, but you really need this stone thing to help you out because unfortunately when it comes to the Elegy of Emptiness, the one that's a waste is the Deku form, because a lot of the buttons and stuff that you need to push, the Deku form is a... Sorry, I'm kind of drawing a blank as I'm going through this. As you can tell, I'm still doing post-commentary. This is going to be this episode and the one after this, and yeah, post-commentary will be done, so I do apologize. But the Deku form, in terms of all these statues, is the one that's a waste, because unfortunately it is not heavy enough to push on a button. And it's kind of, you know... It's kind of redundant. I don't know, it just makes me feel like it's such a waste. You know, you have the four forms, let the Deku be at least heavy enough. I get it as like a species, they're not. But I don't know, it's kind of weird. But let's go ahead and get this open here using all the forms here. So not too bad. That's one of the reason for the block, so you can actually hold these down. But interesting dungeon to say the least, because yeah, we're seeing a bunch of like swamp enemies and just random little like ones here and there. I wish they would have made, I don't know, just a little bit more new enemies for this. It just seems kind of like a lot of reused just swamp stuff so far, but it is what it is. But we do have a new one here. If you guys have played Ocarina of Time, these are Armos. So right? I believe these are called Armos. I could be wrong, but I'm sure they're called Armos. They awaken once you hit them and stuff, but once they destroy or die, they're gonna blow up, so just be careful of that. Blowing up that rock at the top, or that little square hole in the ground, is obviously for this block, which is good. So, and thankfully have the deck. Gosh, dude, I'm really stumbling my words today. I'm so sorry. The Goron form is very useful for lava, thankfully. So there is that. Good. The thing is, we do need to destroy all of them for a reward, or at least one of the treasures for here. I think this was a stray fairy already. I think the stray fairies in this one aren't too bad to collect. They're just a little weird because they make you go out of your way for some of these, and you'll see what I mean by a little bit later, but I can't get over the Goron's form whenever he keeps, like, his eyes just keep bugging out. But this is stray fairy number 1. No, it is not. It's a small key, so it is required that we defeat the Armos. So good thing I remembered to look up here, because that's going to be the big thing about this dungeon. There's little nooks and crannies that you can and possibly cannot get to, depending on how the temple is. So, and you'll know what I mean by that later. So we got our first stray fairy here. Just like previous dungeons, we have 15 to collect total. So you're going to be seeing me wear the Great Fairy Mask a lot, to just make sure that there's not in any of the rooms. But this one gets a little confusing. I think I run around a little bit because I was just really confused on why it was still showing, and so I was kind of hoping I didn't miss anything, and so really gotta just keep an eye out on that, because yeah, these 15 stray fairies can be kind of tricky, in terms of just making sure you're actually looking in the right locations, defeating the right enemies, and doing all that stuff. But you'll see all the trouble that I kind of go through a little bit later, so but anyway, this room is going to be a little different. This one is, you're going to start using the Zora form. One of these, you're going to have to kind of get used to the dolphin dive here, not going to lie. Especially if you want to get back into that other area. But you could always just warp out and go back over there. It's really just going to be for that switch that's right there. You're going to need to use the dolphin jump. Thank goodness for editing magic, I will say, because good God, I tried so many times, as you can tell. It probably didn't go well. So I had to do that a couple times. So thankfully I edited that all out for you. But yeah, jumping to that can be a little annoying if you're not really used to doing the dolphin jump. There's not too many spots that require you to do it. And I think in the 64 version, they didn't have this little ledge for you to climb on. And the 64 version, I think you actually have to dolphin jump up onto these ledges, period. So, I mean, it's a challenge, but it can be kind of annoying, not gonna lie. And we move on. So this room is gonna be kind of interesting because there's a lot of water and not really anything too crazy. I think it's just really those rooms. We don't have to traverse a lot of water, but shouldn't be too bad. But here comes the Zora in play. So it's kind of cool that we're already seeing most of the forms. Really just not the Deku quite yet. But I mean, when it comes to the Deku flowers, I feel like that's really the only use for the Deku, which is kind of unfortunate, man. Like, it really is. Can we not? But you're gonna start to see that some of the switches and everything that we're doing are staying upside down. So you're gonna want to remember where these are at. Maybe mark some down, personally, something like that. Because God, let me tell you, I forgot a lot of these as we went on. These mirrors are also very interesting because they can hold rays of light as you shine into them. So hold it down for a little bit, aim it, and it will store the light for a little bit for you to do that type of shenanigans with the reflecting of light. It's kind of interesting. I wish they would have done a little bit more with stuff like that. I know we just only got the mirror shield, but you know, it would have been interesting to see where they go with like that type of stuff. But it is what it is. I wish maybe the mirror shield would have been something that you get early on, and you know, because I think in Ocarina it helps you reflect the magic, and I think in general. But it would have been interesting to see other types of like equipment and like another upside down chest. So we can't get that quite yet. I went looking around, and I think I just went back for no reason, but I think I wanted to double check things. But here's where the small key that we need to use for is here. Got to clear this out so we can use the sunlight here, even though it is nighttime. But hey, it's a Zelda game. I can't complain. But here we are having to do more of this like mirror puzzles. Don't do what I do. You can ignore all these things. One of them is really the only right one, which is that one. All the other 5 are fake. So, and trust me, it's okay if you don't burn them or do anything. They don't lead to anything. I think I do it just to check it, because I think I always just fall for it and do it. Okay, so the next one, we're gonna go ahead and see what this is. I think this is a stray fairy here. Yeah, I think there's quite a bit here. That's our second one, barely. That's kind of crazy, or not gonna lie, because I felt like we would normally get them a lot quicker, but this one's kind of slow in terms of the fairies. So store all that light real quick so we can make sure we get to the block in time. It can be stressful just because, like, I think in this next one we're gonna have to do a few mirrors. And so if you don't do it in time, you obviously have to just keep restarting. This puzzle used to give me a lot of trouble growing up, and I always dreaded it, not gonna lie. Okay, so we got our third fairy. But not too bad, so 12 more to go. So I think as long as you just position yourself in a correct way. Yeah, it's kind of tough, because if you don't make it right away, or if the bows like kind of distract you a little bit, they can take away your time. So just kind of be careful with that. Hold it for a little bit here. I kind of positioned wrong here, unfortunately. So you can already kind of see the trouble for it. So just get rid of that bow real quick. Okay, so then now, hopefully we get it right. If not, geez. Oh my god, yeah, I messed this one up a lot. Hopefully that was enough, because good god. Looking back at this and like having to just see this again is already frustrating me, and I done it already. So and that's the only issue, is that these bows do keep respawning, but I said screw it, I just let it hit me. So the cool thing is I don't think you have to be completely angled right. I know you can break laws of physics and just how things work. But yeah, so we were able to do that. Okay, so there were 2 stray fairies in this room. I keep doing it. I don't know why. Get rid of them is all I did. But yeah, there was only 2 stray fairies in that room. From here is now we get to see the Deku form. Oh my goodness. He gets some time to shine. Very interesting. Yeah, you gotta be careful here, because the radius is very limited, and I think if you do fall, as long as you land into that airstream, you'll shoot back up with flowers, and you'll be fine. Okay, so yeah, like right here, we could just fly back into that. So our 4th fairy. Okay, good. Yeah, sneaky little bomb chew here to mess with you, but it shouldn't be too bad. Oof, that one actually scared me, I think, when I was recording. Okay. So a little bit of a frustrating thing. I think I missed it, because yeah, there's a button that we need to hit at the bottom. I forgot about it as I landed here, but you do need to use the Goron form at the entrance. Jump down into the lava. You can ground pound this switch, and then you have to make it on the opposite side through the lava. And this one's kind of unforgiving. If you mess up a little bit and don't make, like, it's kind of a tight timing. So after making that switch, that's how you unlock the flames. So just thought I'd show you that real quick, because it's a stray fairy. So 5th one, we are 1/3 of the way there. That looks a little familiar. So we have the Garo Master here. So you can't fight him like an ordinary Garo, just dodge his swords. He's very interesting in the form, or the fact that he has these little tricks that he does. Because I think once he sees you blocking, and once you hit him, he'll kind of like do those little twists. I think if you see him, I don't know how it activates, but I think a little bit later, you'll see him kind of like teleport out. I don't know, I usually have an easy time with him. I don't know why he was giving me so much trouble here. Yeah, if you start blocking way ahead of time, I think that's when he'll start dodging, or at least like teleporting out. But once you see him teleport out, I would just roll out and then he'll fall like down from the top. Yeah, I think it's probably like the distance. Yeah, he can be a little annoying and kind of jumpy. That's the only problem with him. But to think I could be defeated, although you were my rival, you were spectacular. I shall take my final bow by opening up my heart and revealing my wisdom. If you shoot that which burns with a sacred golden light into the glowing red emblem outside the temple, the world shall be rearranged so that the earth is born into the heavens and the moon is born on the earth. Don't forget these words. Die I shall, leaving no corpse. That is the law of the Garo. So, very interesting. Again, just like the original, or like not the original, the normal Garo that you can summon with his mask, he will give you some information, and which again, this is a very huge one, especially with the item that we're going to get here, being the light arrow. So yeah, the cool thing is about Majora's Mask and its dungeons, it was all arrow themed. So not like you would find the hook shot in the temple, use that. So I thought it was very interesting. A very interesting take in terms of just like what to put where, you know. But these light arrows require a little bit more magic. I think it's like, I forget if like the fire and the ice use 2 MP, because I believe it or not, I think they go by magic points. The light arrow will use 4. So it's a little bit more magic, but I think they're the most powerful arrows that you can use. So very, very nice that we got them already. Because yeah, we're gonna definitely need them. So I messed up here. Yeah, I jumped down. There's some pots and stuff. I think you can get them for like more item replenishing stuff. There's a lot of pots actually. Do I actually use the light arrow on them? Well, here, but I was wondering if with the helmet it would have mattered or not, but oh well. But we gotta do as that dude said. But next up, we actually do have a new enemy here. This is actually pretty cool. It's an Igor. So you're gonna have to pay attention to its subtle changes in the eye. You can use the light arrows to stun it and just attack it again. So I think it just takes 2 light arrows and you're fine. Well, 4 total if you're using it to stun, but when they actually do damage, it's 2. So I get another chest from this. I believe this is another stray fairy. Come on, show me the money. Yeah, another stray fairy. So we have 6. So, gosh, dude, like already got the dungeon item, and we're not even done with the not even halfway, really, almost there. But so the cool thing about these light arrows, I think I don't show it here. I think it might be once it happens, but you can actually shoot those sun things or the eyes with the light arrows. Yeah, I do have to show it here. So cool. Yeah, use the light arrows on that and it will help do that. And again, an upside down chest, so real big theme. So this is really I would say kind of like the first little third of the dungeon, really, because just with the light arrows being accessible now, kind of will open up the rest of the dungeon, and you'll see here because we have to go do it in order to progress. So Stone Tower, that red gem, if we use the light arrow that we did get, something crazy happens. we just disappear. So as he did say, the heavens are born on the earth and the land becomes the sky. So kind of very interesting, not gonna lie. The whole temple's completely flipped, and that is gonna be like really how the rest of the dungeon will go. So you can use this to your advantage, going back and forth, flipping it up and down. And just like that, this is the stone temple, stone tower temple again still, but upside down. But in all honesty, I think I'm going to go ahead and end the episode off here. Thank y'all so much for watching. And in the next episode, we're going to go ahead and continue up and hopefully finish up. Well, yeah, we're going to finish up the Stone Temple Tower in the next episode. I'm going to grab the Stray Fairy while we're at it. But yeah, we're going to go around, go ahead and collect up a bunch of the Stray Fairies, finish up this dungeon, get it 100% before we go ahead and take on the boss. But thank y'all so much for watching. And with that, I will see you guys in the next episode.